What's up, Dan?
Nothing much, nothing much. Just ready to get to it.
What are we gonna do today? A regular for sale by owner and then a follow-up call. You want to do a follow-up call?
I don't even know what exactly what a follow couple look like, so I'll just go for the regular thing, I guess. And then,
Okay, rock and roll.
hello. Hi, I'm calling about the property on 1234 Main Street. Is this the owner?
Yeah, this is the owner. Who's this?
Hey, this is Daniel, and I'm a realtor. I've got your property pulled up here, and was wondering if you could possibly help me out for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I see here, you have your property on the market for sale and that you're selling it on your own. I was calling simply just to find out if an agent like myself had a buyer who is ready, willing, and able to purchase. Are you cooperating with agents?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate that. Is there a particular commission you're offering out?
Yeah, 2%. You have a buyer?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really great question. We work with a lot of buyers and sellers every day. I don't have one interested in your property specifically right now, but I was wondering because we help a lot of first time owners when they do get their property sold to purchase their next one. So once you get this sold, are you looking to stay here locally or are you moving elsewhere?
No, we're moving elsewhere.
Okay, great. Do you have a place in mind already?
Yeah, we're gonna be moving to Houston.
Oh wow, that's exciting. Tell me about that.
Well, I have in-laws that are there, and we're gonna be, moving over there to take care of them. And I have a job. I have a job lined up there.
Okay, excellent. So it sounds like you're not only moving to Houston to be closer to family, but you also got a job lined up there. So, I mean, is there anything else really important to you about making this transition there?
No, I mean, I think that's the crux of it. I mean, we obviously need to get the property sold to get there. We're not looking to give it away here, which is why I'm going to be handling the sale with the for sale by owner.
Great. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to expect you to do the property by any means. And again, my name is Daniel. What was your name?
I'm Dan as well.
Okay, cool, cool. Dan, I was noticing that the price that you have listed is like 450. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, great. And if you don't mind me asking, I'm curious, how did you come up with that price?
Well, I've sold properties in the area. I know what I'm doing. I've sold other ones before, so I follow the market pretty well.
Okay, good. So you have a good understanding of the market. You've had some success in the past, which is great. I also discovered it here on Zillow. Is there anything else you're doing to market the property?
I mean, we have a sign out front.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And ideally, in terms of what you want, because that's what's most important. And how soon are you hoping to be able to get to Houston, be closer to family?
I mean, sooner rather than later, but we really need our price. So, that's going to really
Yeah,
dictate how soon I move.
yeah. So you're flexible with time. You want to make sure you get everything you can out of it. And Daniel, you strike me to be someone who's very straightforward, and I'm the same way. I was curious, is the professional fee the main reason you're selling this property yourself rather than just having a local agent help you?
Yes, that's the main reason.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, if I were you and felt like I could sell my house, in the same amount of time and for the same amount of money that an agent could, I'd probably try it myself too. And speaking with you, you seem to really understand this process pretty well. So it's not a question to me of whether or not you could or couldn't get this property sold. But the real question is, Daniel, is if you knew, and I mean really knew, that having someone like me help you and the increased exposure we could provide you with, instead of getting lots of calls from agents, you could potentially have more than one offer on the table, forcing people to compete. And what ends up coming to the surface is the most that somebody's willing to pay, more than making up for whatever it is you're hoping to save selling it yourself. I have to imagine if you knew that was a possibility, you might consider working with someone like me. What do you?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know how that's possible though, considering I'm saving half of the commission by listing it myself.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Based on what you've been kind to share with me so far, I'm hearing a couple things from you. The first is you definitely wish to sell this property so you can make the move to Houston, be closer to family and for your new job. The second thing I'm hearing is, if there was a way that you could net what it is you wanted to net, you wouldn't necessarily be opposed to having an agent help you with the process. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. Well, may I make a quick suggestion?
What's that?
Oh, Daniel, what I'd like to do, if you're willing to provide me with the opportunity, of course, is simply just stop by, take a look, and see what the property has to offer in person. And while I'm there, I'll show you two things extremely clearly. The first is very specifically and realistically what we could do in terms of a more proactive strategy to get into a multiple offer scenario, forcing people to compete and get the most that somebody will pay. The second thing I'll share with you is in the current market and the home's current condition, what's going to be the absolute most amount we can expect to receive for that property, as well as net bottom line, what the proceeds will be to you when it's all said and done. And then at least this way, whether it's me, somebody else, or sooner or later, you have all the most important information you need to make a great decision for yourself and for your family. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, great. If we were to connect under normal conditions, are you typically available in the evenings or the afternoons?
I mean, generally evenings, but I have to ask my wife first. I don't know that I'm ready to make an appointment without talking to her.
Right, right. You obviously want to include your wife. I mean, I know this is a big decision, and I'm married as well, so I get that. And I can hear you're definitely excited about, making this transition to Houston. I'm curious, how does your wife feel about it?
I mean, she's definitely on board. It's her parents that we're going to move to take care of.
Okay, excellent. So, I mean, she's obviously on the same page as you then, which is nice. And if she knew that there was someone who could, shed some light on the situation and provide you with some guidance that can help you get your property sold and do it quickly and efficiently, do you think you might want to speak to them as well?
I mean, it's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I would have to honestly run it by her and see if she'd be open to taking an appointment.
Right, right. Okay. So what I can do to accommodate that is take a pencil with a large eraser, very attentively pencil something in, well, let's say tomorrow evening. That way you have the opportunity to talk it over with your wife. Take a look at the information I'll be sending you as well, and I'll give you a call beforehand. If we need to change it or cancel it or reschedule, we can always do that. Fair enough?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, great. And what's a great email so I can send you over the information?
Mesrobian at msn.com.
Okay, great. And then I'll go in the pick over from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Brother, that is like night and day, man, from the other day. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. You use that. Now I'm going to give you some pointers here just to kind of fine tune that. But
Yeah.
that is a for sale by owner call where you are looking to help them, serve them, get the appointment, not go on some preview where there's no expectation of you helping them with actually getting the property listed.
Okay.
How did that feel? Tell me how that felt to you. You're presenting to me. You feel confident?
I don't think I sounded as confident as I need to be. I think I was talking a little fast and maybe a little hesitant in a couple of my words, but I do think I have it. I kind of know which direction I want to take it, which is good.
Yes. The lack of confidence is just because you don't have it memorized yet. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like practice will, memorizing this and knowing it like front and back. That's going to breed confidence.
Okay.
Think of like an NBA player. Like, why are they so confident to take last minute shots, Kobe and Jordan? Because they've done it 100 times.
Exactly. Right.
That's the only difference with you and them. So now here's what I'm going to do for you. So again, number one, yeah, you were going a little fast, but that's okay. I'm not that your tonality is going to slow down just when you get really confident with it.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that. All right. This was a really, really solid call. Like I was literally mouthing some words that you were saying because I knew you were going to say them. So I love it. It's awesome. There are two parts in there that I need you to break up somehow. The first one was when you were talking about, hey, you strike me as somebody who knows the process very well. The question isn't whether you can or can't sell it. You go over a scenario in there. I need you somewhere. If you're going to use that, which I like, you have to break it up a little bit because it's a long. It was a little long,
Okay.
and I don't want you to lose the seller in that. So somewhere along the line, break it up. Ask them, hey, you following along? Does that make sense? Something along those lines.
Okay.
Okay. And then the same thing with the second one when you went, hey, would you be kind enough to share with me? I'm hearing a couple of things very clearly. Number one is you definitely would like to sell the property to get down to Houston. Number two, more importantly, is your net bottom line, which you can realistically expect to receive when we're at the closing table signing papers. And then whether it's now or later, hey, at least you've met with the top agent in your area. You'll have all the information you need to make the best decision you can for yourself and your family. Somewhere along there, I need you to like throw in just like a question just to keep them engaged.
Okay.
All right. But I love that you're using that. It's such a powerful close. Think about it. Hey, whether it's now or later, Mr. Seller, at least you've met with a top agent in your area. You'll have all the information you need to make the best decision you can for yourself and your family. You just threw 6 U's in there, saying nothing about you, you, the agent, and everything about them, the seller.
Yeah.
That is what is going to get you that appointment. That is why you're going to get that listing and help that seller and sell that property.
Okay.
Because you haven't said anything about you. You've said everything about them.
Yeah.
Bro, you're going to be a machine, man. You're going to be a listing machine.
That's like, oh yeah, I had another one. My last preview because I already had the appointment set yesterday. And,
Yeah.
Like, the guy was like retired and like has the property on and everything, like
Okay.
sharing thing. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around like someone like him when like if it sounds great, like with your like I don't think I have a problem getting these appointments with this, but like are they gonna actually list with like sign the papers?
Why is he moving? What's his motivation?
Um, he has a home built down the street and he just wanted a new home.
Okay. So is he carrying two? Is he carrying 2 houses right now?
No, he's on the other one free and clear.
Still got to pay taxes though. No.
Yeah.
Still got to pay insurance. No.
Yeah, still gotta pay that. Yeah.
Still got to do maintenance on the property. No.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So those might be pain points for him.
Okay.
So you ask those. That's all you're doing, brother, is just asking those questions. Hey, I'm aware that you have the house down the street that's built. How important is it for you to actually be able to sell this property and move into this brand new beautiful home that you're waiting to live in?
Yeah.
Ask him.
Okay.
Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, if he's really throwing up like flags to you, my go-to is like, hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Seller. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, if it sells, great. If it doesn't, I'm fine. I'll keep it. 10 being, hey, I really want to get this thing sold so I can get into this new home. Where would you put yourself on that scale of needing to sell this property?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a pretty decent tie down.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good with it.
Anything like a 6 and above, I'm like, all right, let's rock. You're motivated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
To this thing, yeah. Okay.
yeah, when you call him back, have you pre-qualified him yet?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Okay. What you're gonna do? When's the appointment? Or do you even have one?
Yeah, I saw him in person yesterday. It was one of those videos that I was doing.
Okay, that's fine. No, it's good, brother. So call him back. Hey, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and see the property. It's a beautiful home. I'm super excited to work with you to get the property sold. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask a few quick questions just to make sure, that I have all the information I need and really can help serve you best. Okay? Okay. And then go right into the prequel. And if you're noticing through those prequel questions that he's not motivated, he can keep the property with no problem at all, not sell it and rent it. Go down that road with him, ask him some questions. Have you ever been a landlord? Do you know what it takes? Do you know that, is plan A selling the property or is plan A keeping it and renting it? Usually plan A will be to sell it. When I ask that and they say, no, I mean, I honestly, I'd rather sell it, but if I keep it, I can keep it and rent it. And I just would say to them, yeah, great. Well, you know what? I appreciate that, Mr. Seller. I'm a plan A guy myself. So let's focus on getting the property sold so we can get you what you want in the time you want. Sound good?
I like that, yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I would pre-qualify him and see where he's at as far as his motivation. And if he really is interested in getting the property sold, to get him into the new home.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Cool.
Yep.
So if I go through the script we went through with someone and they just I won't get anything for whatever reason, and I call them next and like follow up with them the next week, like already I want someone redundant with asking the same questions like like how will you handle that, like follow up trying to close again.
So your question is you initially called them, they didn't, we know that the percentages of landing an actual appointment for sale by owner are very low because usually everybody's calling them when they just list. So they want to give it some time, and that's normal. Um, that's where you're providing your value. Remember, for sale by owners, you need two things with there's two things in massive amounts of approval, because remember, everybody's telling them that they're wrong for doing it. They don't understand that there's a better way that's going to profit them way more than doing it themselves, because they're not getting the exposure that they need. And actually having an employee work for them, which would be us. And then number two is they need ridiculous amounts of follow up.
Okay.
So your follow up call to them. I mean, when I would call them, the first question I'll ask is, hey, I'm just curious. We spoke the other day. I appreciate you sharing some information with me. Is it still a priority for you, Mr. Seller, to get the property sold in the time frame that you mentioned? Because you mentioned to me you did want to get to Houston to be with your in-laws, and you have a job going on over there. Is that still a priority, or has something changed?
Thanks. Okay.
Usually it's like, no, that's the deal. Okay. I'm curious, how has the first week been for you, or the first few days been? Are they mostly agents calling you? You're going to be like, yeah, agents are always calling me. Yeah, hey, would you like to have that stop? Yeah, how's that? Well, listen, I really appreciate you sharing that. You've been kind enough to share with me that you definitely want to sell the property to get to Houston to be with your family. You are 100%. And then the second thing is you definitely want it absolutely net top dollar for the property. So if there was a way that we can go over a comprehensive plan for you, Mr. Seller, to achieve both those goals while not wasting any time getting you there, you think that might be worth 10 minutes of your time?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Something along those lines.
And they say, yeah, then you pre-call it. Then if
That's
for
it.
reason they say no, you just kind of having that same conversation like the different words like every week.
Yeah, and if they say no, it's hey, so I appreciate that, Mr. Seller. Again, we're here to help you. We're never here to talk you into doing anything you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your time frame where, if the property's just not selling and you are just getting inundated with calls from agents, what would be the time frame where you would say, you know what, I'm actually open to meeting you? Would it be another week or two? Try and get a time frame on that.
Yeah, and then just follow up with them with something.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah. Because you're going to need to follow up with them. It might be the third call, it might be the fifth call. But if you keep showing them value for, who you are and what you can provide to them, maybe you offer them again. Remember, we were talking about this the other day. Maybe you offer them a contract. Hey, I know you have an open house this weekend, and the off chance that somebody actually wants to put pen to paper, do you have a contract to help them with and get the process started? They're always going to say no.
Okay.
They don't have a contract.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're going to probably Google it or go on some website for it.
Sure.
So offer them that.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe you offer to go to if they're having an open house. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll what I can do is pop by maybe if the last 10 or 15 minutes and just see how it's going. If you have any questions regarding the open house, I can be there to help you out with it and serve you in the best way I can.
And you would go there with the intent to try to get the listing?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good question. Yeah, I would say yes. I would bring always listing paperwork with me.
Okay.
And yeah, I definitely would.
Okay.
And then if he's there and you haven't pre-qualified him, pre-qual him there. Ask him some pointed questions. In the pre-qual, there's like 11 questions. You can ask him 6 or 7 of them that are really important. You get those answers, and you get the favorable answers you need, because you don't really need to go through the ones about the house, because you're in the house.
Yeah, right.
So you know the house now.
Yep. Okay.
But motivation, all the decision makers are there. Things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Got to figure out something that's going to separate you from everybody else.
Okay.
But your approach to this,
Okay.
yeah, your approach to this, making it about them, not making it about you, which every other agent's going to probably do. Tell them how great they are, how many houses they've sold, all that nonsense. You put them to the forefront, help them achieve the goal that they need, and do it in the time frame that they need. You know, you're the guy.
Okay. Great. Great.
Awesome. Was this helpful, brother?
Yeah, no, it was more than helpful. I really appreciate your time for sure. I mean, it's
This is
nice to
good.
have, someone that knows the process.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for sale by owners are they are low hanging fruit because they already listed. They need to sell it. It's just again, they're not wrong for doing what they're doing. A lot of times they just don't understand that way they're going to net less than, and what they're thinking about is the professional fee. But the problem with that is you can expose their property to literally 100% of the buying public, and they just don't know that yet.
Okay.
So it's in how you approach them that you're going to educate them on that. So again, at the end of the day, now they see, yeah, you know what? I can get buyers competing for the property instead of just listing it on one website and hoping and praying somebody's going to come and purchase it that way.
Yeah. Right.
All right, brother. Let's hit it tomorrow. I'm actually gonna give time. I'll have time tomorrow to role play with you. So let's do it again tomorrow. And if there's anything else you want to run through, maybe whatever you want, man. Pre-qual for sale by owner again. Up to you, bro.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you. I'll call you tomorrow then.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. All right. See you then.
All right, bud. Let's go over the pricing portion of it. All right. So when I go over pricing with a seller and how I lead into it is, the good news is we only have to focus on a couple things during our time together today. Can